A high-ranking official stood before a firing squad just hours after his arrest. Executed so swiftly, his family learned of his death from radio broadcasts. The revolution that swept through Iran in early 1979 promised justice and an end to tyranny. Yet within weeks, the new regime was eliminating its enemies faster than the Shah ever had. The same courts that condemned the old government for unfair trials now delivered death sentences in sessions lasting mere minutes, sending a message that would transform celebration into fear across the entire country. The legal black hole opened on February 11, 1979, just hours after the monarchy collapsed. Revolutionary tribunals appeared overnight, operating from schools, mosques, and commandeered government buildings. These weren't courts in any recognizable sense. They were stages for predetermined verdicts. Judges had no legal training. Most were clerics loyal to Khomeini, appointed during a revolutionary crisis when the leadership believed the old system had to be dismantled immediately. Defendants received no lawyers. Trials lasted 15 to 30 minutes. The accused stood before panels who'd already decided their fate, reading charges that mixed genuine crimes with revolutionary rhetoric. General Nematollah Nasiri, the Shah's feared intelligence chief, faced execution on February 16th, just 5 days after the revolution's victory. His trial took 20 minutes. No witnesses testified, no evidence presented beyond accusations. The same pattern repeated across Tehran. Military commanders who'd wielded absolute power days earlier now stood helpless before revolutionary justice, unable to mount any defense that might delay their removal from power permanently. The mask falls in early February 1979, when Khomeini's true vision for justice emerged. During his exile in Paris, the Ayatollah had promised democratic governance, religious freedom, and trials conducted according to international standards. Iranian intellectuals and Western journalists believed him. That illusion shattered within days of his return. On February 1st, Khomeini arrived in Tehran to crowds numbering in the millions. His speeches spoke of unity and healing. Behind closed doors, he authorized the creation of revolutionary courts that would operate outside any legal framework. The revolution's leadership feared allowing enemies of the revolution to regroup. Royalist military officers still commanded loyal units. Sadegh agents remained embedded throughout society. Counter-revolution seemed imminent. Speed became the priority over justice. Khomeini appointed Sadegh Khalkhali as chief revolutionary prosecutor, a cleric known for extreme views and zero legal experience. Khalkhali believed trials themselves were unnecessary luxuries. The revolution needed protection, not procedure. By February 11th, when the monarchy officially collapsed, the apparatus for mass executions already existed. The same revolution that promised fairness began staging something far darker than anyone anticipated. Systematic purges replaced judicial process entirely. The hanging judge earned his title through systematic terror that began in February 1979. Sadegh Khalkhali, a short cleric with wild eyes and unwavering certainty, became the face of revolutionary justice. He'd studied Islamic law, but interpreted it through a lens of absolute vengeance. Khomeini chose him specifically for his ruthlessness, someone who wouldn't hesitate when ordering executions. Khalkhali conducted trials from the rooftop of Refa School in Tehran, a location chosen to send a message that would shake the entire country. Defendants climbed stairs knowing they'd descend as corpses. He bragged openly about the speed of his verdicts, once executing 9 men in a single morning session. Each trial followed an identical pattern. Accusations read aloud, the accused denied any chance to respond meaningfully, then immediate sentencing. The cleric displayed religious zealotry mixed with personal bloodlust. He quoted scripture while ordering firing squads. He claimed divine authority for every execution, transforming murder into holy duty. Witnesses described him smiling during sentencings, visibly enjoying his power over life and death. By spring of 1979, Khalkhali had personally overseen hundreds of executions. His courts operated in multiple cities simultaneously, creating a machinery of death that functioned with industrial efficiency. The revolution needed enemies removed permanently, and Khalkhali delivered without mercy or doubt. Terror became governance under his watch. The night of the generals arrived on February 15, 1979, when 4 of the Shah's highest-ranking military commanders faced execution together. The timing carried deliberate symbolism, exactly 4 days after the monarchy's final collapse. Revolutionary guards transported them to Rafah School's rooftop as darkness fell over Tehran. General Nematollah Nasiri had commanded SAVAK, the intelligence agency responsible for torturing thousands of political prisoners. General Manucher Khosrodad led the imperial guard that protected the Shah's palaces. General Mehdi Rahimi governed martial law in Tehran during the revolution's final weeks. General Reza Naji commanded the Air Force. Each had wielded absolute power. Now they stood blindfolded before firing squads. Their authority vanished completely. The executions became public spectacle designed to send a message that would shake the entire country. State radio announced the verdicts immediately. Revolutionary committees plastered photographs across Tehran showing the generals' bodies. The message was unmistakable. No one from the old regime would escape revolutionary justice, regardless of rank or connections. Khalkhali personally supervised each execution, ensuring the proceedings followed his brutal template. The trials had lasted minutes. No appeals were permitted. No international observers allowed. The revolution needed enemies removed permanently, and the generals represented everything the new order sought to destroy. Their deaths marked the beginning, not the end, of systematic purges that would consume thousands more. No one is safe became terrifyingly clear by April 1979, when the purges expanded beyond military targets to consume civilians. The revolutionary tribunals had initially focused on generals and SAVAK operatives, figures the public despised. But the machinery of terror, once created, demanded constant feeding. Businessmen who'd traded with the Shah's government faced arrest. Journalists who'd written favorable coverage received death sentences. University professors accused of Western sympathies disappeared into Evin prison. Even diplomats, protected under international law, found themselves vulnerable. Amir Abbas Hoveyda, Iran's prime minister for 13 years, had lived quietly in Tehran, believing his moderate reputation would protect him. Revolutionary guards arrested him in early April. Hoveyda's trial shattered any remaining illusions about fairness. He'd maintained diplomatic contacts throughout his career. He'd never ordered massacres or torture. Yet Khalkhali condemned him as corrupt and anti-Islamic, sentencing him to death after a proceeding that lasted barely an hour. On April 7th, firing squads executed him at Qasr prison. The executions sent shockwaves internationally. Foreign governments that had cautiously recognized the new regime now watched in horror. If someone of Hoveyda's stature, educated, cosmopolitan, connected, could be murdered without genuine trial, then truly no one was safe. The same revolution that promised justice began staging something far darker than selective punishment of the Shah's worst enforcers. By late April, the definition of enemy of the revolution expanded constantly. Ethnic minorities faced persecution. Religious minorities received death threats. Former revolutionaries who questioned Khomeini's methods found themselves targeted. The purges transformed from focused retribution into systematic terror designed to remove anyone who might challenge the new order permanently. The Great Exodus began in spring of 1979 as terror drove hundreds of thousands from Iran. Families who'd celebrated the Shah's departure now fled the revolution they'd supported. Mehrabad Airport became a scene of desperate humanity. Crowds pushing toward departure gates, bribing officials for exit permits, abandoning homes and businesses to escape with their lives. The purges created psychological warfare that extended far beyond executed victims. Every arrest sent ripples through entire social networks. Military officers who hadn't been targeted yet understood their turn was coming. Professionals with Western educations recognized they'd eventually face accusations of corrupting Iranian youth. Wealthy merchants knew their assets would be confiscated as ill-gotten gains. By summer, the brain drain accelerated dramatically. Doctors, engineers, pilots, and academics fled to Europe and America. The military hemorrhaged expertise as officers escaped before revolutionary committees could arrest them. Entire Air Force squadrons defected, flying jets to neighboring countries rather than face Khalkhali's tribunals. The revolution achieved through exodus what executions alone couldn't accomplish: complete neutralization of potential opposition. Those who might have organized resistance instead chose survival abroad. Iran lost a generation of talent during a revolutionary crisis when the leadership believed eliminating threats mattered more than preserving national capability. The foundation of silence was built through systematic terror that extended far beyond 1979. The Purges established precedents that shaped Iran for decades. Revolutionary courts became permanent fixtures. Summary executions transformed into routine governance. Dissent itself became a capital offense. By year's end, thousands had been executed without genuine trials. Tens of thousands more languished in prisons. Hundreds of thousands fled into permanent exile. The revolution that promised liberation delivered oppression more complete than what came before. Khomeini's purges demonstrated how quickly idealism transforms into authoritarianism during a revolutionary crisis when leaders believe enemies must be removed permanently. Terror became the foundation upon which the Islamic Republic was constructed, a foundation that remains unshaken decades later.